morning. My name is Chris Adlam with Youth Pledge for Employers, and we've got a slightly different employer talk today, and I've been brilliantly joined by a lot of people from Gallagher Re. And to start with, I'm being joined by Amoy and Trudy. Hello to both of you.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Thank you for giving up your time this morning. And just before I sort of get onto the first question I was going to ask you, could you both just quickly tell me what your job title is and what you do within Gallagher Re? And I don't know if you want to go first, Trudy.
Okay, certainly. My role is foundational lead for Gallagher Re globally, which covers recruitment, engagement with schools, universities, to the final delivery of a reinsurance training program that we run for 2 years for every foundational talent that joins our business.
Fantastic. And Amoy?
I also work on the foundational talent team, particularly on recruitment and marketing for Reach, which is our program that Trudy mentioned. I look after the majority of the recruitment from start to finish, and I also do a lot of the marketing materials and events organisation as well.
That's amazing, though. Thank you for such a succinct introduction, of what you guys do. And I guess my sort of starter for 10 question has to be really, sort of what does Gallagher Re as an organisation do? And I don't know which one of you is going to take that.
Amoy, would you like to? I'm happy to.
Could you?
Of course I can, certainly. So Gallagher Re as an organisation, we arrange reinsurance. We are the brokers. We take insurance companies' portfolios and we look at reinsuring elements of that so that they actually have more capacity to actually transact in other parts of business. So we actually insure insurance, basically.
Well, it's one of those roles that unless you explained it, I guess I wouldn't even think it's there, if you see what I mean.
I do understand that completely, but yes, it's most definitely there, and for huge organisations. So we actually our clients are the insurance companies, so we're actually dealing with their portfolio of business to reinsure that for them.
No, it's amazing. Thank you for that. And so, as I gather, Amoy is a reasonably new within Gallagher Re. And again, I don't know if Trudy or Amoy want to take this question, but so what roles do you have available, and what skills do you seek in new candidates? Such as Amoy.
So I'll take that question. So we have a variety of roles going this year. So the first one would be accounts and settlement. You essentially handle cash from clients, answer any inquiries that come from clients. It's obviously a primarily client-facing role, and you also handle underwriting funds. Another one we have is called placement support, which will be mentioned a bit later, but it's essentially understanding reinsurance contracts, working with underwriters again, and handling money. Additionally, we have pro rata, which is ensuring new and existing accounts are maintained to the highest standards of service, to maintain business and continue to grow our company. We also have market security, which is primarily market analysis, looking at significant catastrophes and any emerging risks, and also looking at potential market volatility. In terms of what we look for in candidates, I'd say firstly confidence, being able to promote yourself. It really shows when people come into an interview and they have a lot of confidence in themselves and they believe that they would be a good fit for the business, and it ties into personality as well. We also look for research skills, researching Gallagher Re and reinsurance. Again, it shows when you come to the interview and you've looked into who we are and what we do and have at least tried to learn, because we understand that reinsurance is not a common thing that you come across in your daily life. So we really appreciate when candidates come in and they research Gallagher Re and reinsurance. Also, the willingness to learn and take direction. The kind of roles that we recruit for, we understand that you may not have any work experience or any experience at all in the sector. So we appreciate people who let us mold them into who we need them to be for the business and kind of just take direction where possible. Aside from what I've already mentioned, we do look at grades. So it would be 3 A levels, C and above, and then 8 GCSEs. And then tying into the willingness to learn and take direction, we also look for enthusiasm, the enthusiasm to learn, the enthusiasm to be in the job and be with Gallagher Re and try and do as best as possible in the role.
No, brilliant. Thank you for that, Moya. And I think you've touched on some really great points there in terms of, there are some, if you don't get the qualifications or, or if you're waiting on the qualifications, there are still certain traits that you could definitely have to go into roles. So as you say, a willingness to learn, enthusiasm, as say, a willing to sort of be, molded into the, into the company identity. And yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Those are some, really great traits to look for. And as I say, things that young people can be sort of working on while they're waiting for qualifications or, getting the other parts they need to get in a role. And I think we've got one final question, which I will ask you, Trudy, if that's okay.
Of course.
Which is, how do you support new talent coming into the organisation?
Okay, so just going back to what Amoy was talking about qualifications, we would like people to apply, and if we are successful with them at interview, we wouldn't necessarily decline them because of the qualification, maybe that they don't achieve it. I think we would take that further on a personality basis. But looking at talent that we take on board, we run, as I said, a reinsurance achievement program, which is really very close to my heart, having sort of created this about 8 years ago. It's something that gives individuals an opportunity to understand our business, which is very complex, and it gives them exposure to many senior business leaders, but also many avenues and parts of our business that they wouldn't normally cross in the day-to-day environment, but it gives them that knowledge base and that understanding. We also support them through professional qualifications. So they have an opportunity, if they join us from school, to carry on and continue that to get a full degree whilst being paid for a full-time job. That's a big ask. That's a big ask of anyone, but it is an opportunity that we fund and support students with that as well.
No, thank you for that. And I could definitely, from my own personal experience, I could appreciate the purpose of the program in terms of I've worked in some very large organizations where maybe you feel you're doing one small part in one corner of the organization and you have no idea what's happening in the rest, who's who and stuff. So a program like that where, say, they get to learn all about the organization, who's who, what's going on, that could only be of a massive benefit going forward.
Yeah, and I think going on with their careers in the future, it gives you an opportunity to maybe diversify and go into something else where it's there, rather than thinking you're in a tunneled position, which is obviously when you develop and invest in talent, as we do as an organisation, we want to keep them, but obviously we want them to be enjoying what they're doing, most importantly.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Thank you both for being the first pair to speak to me. I believe we're now going to be joined by Nathan and Jess. So if I can invite Nathan and Jess to pop up.
Hello.
Fantastic. Hello, Nathan, and hello, Jess. Fantastic. Thank you both for giving up your time to speak to me this morning. So I guess the first question I will ask to sort of both of you is I will ask you, what do you do at Gallagher Re and what is your role? And I'll direct that at you first, Nathan, if that's okay.
Yes. So my role at Gallagher is placement support, and the fundamentals of my role is to service London. That means that I must understand the reinsurance contracts and the documents. I also have to create documents and answer queries, as well as processing the money that comes through. I must work around a busy renewal schedule, so it's crucial that I am effective in everything that I do within the role.
Oh, fantastic. No, thank you. As I say, that sounds like a sort of a really sort of detailed, sort of attentive role. So no, thanks for that. And Jess, can I ask the same question of you, please?
Yep, so I work in ANS, which stands for Accounts and Settlement, and I work in the Asia Pacific region. And this is a client or reinsurer facing role, so professionalism is an important part of this role. I personally hold a portfolio of reinsurer accounts where I deal with queries, cash payments, and receiving with underwriter funds.
No, thank you again. I know that you've both got roles which I think you've done well to keep them quite succinct and explain within sort of, a brief sentence or two there. So thank you for that. I know you're both still quite new with Gallagher Re. So I guess the next question I would sort of ask you is, since you have joined, what skills do you think you have really developed and honed since you joined? And if I could ask that of you, Jess.
Yeah, so one of the main skills I've developed would be my business and email etiquette. because when dealing with clients or reinsurers on a daily basis and sending emails, it's important to be able to communicate professionally, since you'll also be working with people that are senior to you.
No, brilliant, thank you. And the same question to you, Nathan.
The main skill that I have developed while joining Gallagher is my communication. It's because within my team, I have to work and communicate and share pieces of work. This may mean I have to share work between someone else because they've got too much work to do. So I may take a piece and let them get on with something else. Another skill that I've developed is my Excel. This is helpful as I can now understand calculations, which I would never be able to do if I didn't understand Excel. So it's really helped me progress.
No, fantastic. Thank you to both of those. And I'm guessing that as you've developed those skills, you've probably gained in confidence and you've personally grown as well, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. When I joined Gallagher, my confidence was at an all-time low. And since joining, I've gained my confidence and I'm got a lot more confidence now.
And Jess?
Yeah, I definitely agree, because when we did the REACH programme, which is what new joiners do, as Trudy and Amoy mentioned, we have to do a presentation. And I've always hated presenting. So yeah, that is like definitely a big like confidence builder.
No, brilliant, and well done for you guys for going through that. It's really great to hear how how your confidence is growing and progressing. And if you had to sort of give any advice to anyone out there watching this who is thinking of applying, who, as I say, is maybe in the position where you guys were so many months ago, what piece of advice would you give? And if I could ask you, Jess, for your piece of advice, please.
Yeah, so I would say to obviously definitely apply. Interview prep is essential to a smooth sailing interview process, as well as doing some research about the company. And also you have to make sure to have an up-to-date CV with any skills, references and any experience that you already may have.
No, fantastic, thank you. And Nathan, your piece of advice, please.
My advice for anyone joining Gallagher is to learn the history. Gallagher and Gallagher as a whole really prides itself on its history. So I'd say my number one tip would be learn the history of Gallagher.
Fantastic. And just is that something that you both learnt through your own experiences of applying, out of curiosity?
Yeah, massively. Yes.
No, brilliant, thank you. It's really nice to get that personal insight as well. And as I say, sometimes, yeah, you best learn these things by, either making the mistake or doing the thing in the first place yourself. So that's fantastic. And thank you both for, giving me a sort of, a brief overview of what you do and your journey so far. So thank you both. If I could ask you to go off screen now, and I'm going to invite our final pair, Lewis and Sophia, to the screen, please. Fantastic, brilliant. Again, thank you both for giving up your time this morning. It's nice to meet you. I will give you the same questions as I just did. So if you could both tell me what you do at Gallagher and what is your role. And if I could start with Lewis.
Yeah, hi. I work within placement support for the Middle East team. Here I handle basically the servicing side of reinsurance renewal contracts. I meet with clients, reinsurance and brokers to ensure a smooth flow of business and ensure that deadlines are met, especially over those busy renewal periods. A lot of the day-to-day routines largely involve meetings with individuals and dealing with processing issues and queries.
Fantastic, thank you. And Sophia?
So following on from Lewis, my job role is also placement support. However, I'm part of the Asia Pacific region where I have my own portfolio of clients.
Fantastic, thank you. Again, I know these kind of roles are difficult to summarize in a sentence or two, so I'm grateful for you guys for doing that. And yeah, my sort of next question to you would be about, so if we look at what you've learned so far, what have you found the most rewarding about your career within Gallagher Re, and what challenges have you faced?
Working in the Middle East and North Africa territory, as you can imagine, I can safely say, comes with a variety of different challenges. There's a lot of different cultures, ethics and work processes that we've got to be aware of, and the time difference definitely doesn't help. Although it is a challenge, it is very interesting and exciting, and I love being involved in the territory. In terms of the most rewarding moment in my career, I'd have to say it's whenever we receive positive feedback, especially from clients and reinsurers. It's always great to hear that you're doing well and that they're pleased with your service. And it's always an incentive for us to apply ourselves further so that we go above and beyond for our clients.
No, thank you, Douglas. I completely agree. Sometimes there's sort of no better feeling about your role than when you get positive feedback from the people you're trying to provide a positive experience for. So thank you for that. And Sophia, the same question to you, please.
So I believe the most challenging part of my career so far has been trying to balance the apprenticeship CII qualification with my job role as placement support. This has been significantly hard during busy renewal periods, but with the help of my team members, I have flown through this. As Lewis just said, getting positive feedback from clients and reinsurers is a very rewarding part of the job, as well as getting positive feedback from my team members who have been in the company for several years has also been a massive confidence boost.
Brilliant, thank you for that, Sophia. And it's really nice to hear that, as say, your confidence has, really felt boosted since you've been in post. And my final question, really, just to the pair of you, and I'll ask this of Lewis first, if that's okay, is if you had any advice you were going to give to anyone looking to join Gallagher Re after leaving school, what would that piece of advice be?
I'd probably say just present yourself to the best of your abilities and make yourself really stand out. Gallagher are always looking for promising new talent, so just ensure that you're confident and have a keenness to learn. It's a great industry to work within, and our company ensures to cater for everyone and where they're best suited.
Fantastic, thank you for that, Lewis. And
Thank you.
Sophia, what piece of advice would you give?
So I would say Gallagher is a great company to join as a school leaver to kickstart your career. From personal experience, since joining Gallagher Re in July, my confidence has grown. So I would encourage anybody to step out your comfort zone, as the company will support you and your career.